fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa or who are holding unacceptable views that they're expressing, do not represent the views of Canadians who have been there for each other, who know that following the science and stepping up to protect each other is the best way to continue to ensure our freedoms, our rights, our values as a country. It's important to underline that close to 90% of truckers.
Hey everyone, it's me and Marie. Welcome back to the channel. Become the Cause. Just wanted to, I don't know if you all have been, watching any of the truckers, the Canadian truckers, also being joined by U.S. truckers. I don't know if you've been watching any of that today, but I sure hope you have. It has been wonderful to see. It's just so heartwarming and it fills me with hope to see so many freedom-loving, Canadians, Americans, just people in general of every walk of life come together and fight for what we all really want is freedom. And it's just a beautiful thing to see. So I played that clip for you in the beginning of Trudeau talking about this small minority of people who aren't thinking properly and all that. And so I just kind of wanted to share with you, excuse me, it's not a small fringe of people. It's not a minority of people. It's not. And this was actually published 2 days ago, and this was true. That the Canadian Freedom Convoy 2 days ago was 43 miles long. Today I heard somewhere like 60 or 70,000 trucks. I think it was trucks, not people. But it's just unbelievable what's been going on, and it just brings so much hope. This is from the Gateway Pundit, and 2 days ago, like I said, there are so many videos right now live streaming this, and I definitely encourage you to go find one. It's just very inspiring to see that these truckers have joined together. Look at all these people that have been meeting them along the side of the road. This is actually a really small picture, but they're on overpasses, they're on bridges, they're everywhere, and it's really a beautiful thing. So I don't want to play this. I don't know if I'll get copyrighted for it, but yeah, it really does bring tears to your eyes as you're watching the footage of these truckers. Maybe I don't know if it'll let me play this. Let me play it for a minute. I know all these aren't truckers, but there's a convoy of other cars and such that have also joined in support. So, yeah, just definitely check it out. But, it is not a minority of people. Not only are there this many truckers, but in all the towns along the way, citizens have been greeting them. Restaurants and places have been preparing food for them. Some families have been preparing food for them, and just really reaching out and thanking these brave souls, pushing forth towards a true fight for freedom. So I'm going to play a quick second of this as well. Just a quick moment. This is everywhere, my friends. It is it's going great. Everything seems to be wonderful. It's super, super cold. These people are very dedicated to what they're doing, and I can't be more grateful. So I'm encouraging you, go find some live footage of what's going on. As far as I understand, this is going to go on until the government the Canadian government gives in on the mandates, the vaccine mandates. The truckers have made it very clear that they're not against vaccines. In fact, many of them are vaccinated. They are against medical tyranny, basically. So, yeah, it's just a really beautiful sight, but it's definitely not a minority. But as you know, our lamestream media always does, they have to put out some hit pieces and, try to control the narrative. So, anyway, one of the stories, and I mean, maybe, obviously, there would be some concerns, I suppose, but, yeah. Trucker vaccine protest leads to concern over Canadian lawmakers' safety. I kind of actually found this a little tiny bit funny, but actually, I also wanted to play this, just a clip really fast of this. Look at these people. Look at that. It's just wonderful to see. It really, truly is. Okay. Well, I'm going to get into, read this article through pretty quickly and then move on to a few other little things related. But this came out, I believe it was today. Let me see. Did they put a... No, it was yesterday. It was yesterday at 5:30 in the evening. The trucker vaccine protest in Ottawa has Parliament security officials warning lawmakers to lock their doors as they receive reports of possible private homes being targeted. Now, I can tell you after listening to the CB radios and just chatting with people that nobody has any intention of doing any of this. This has never been a point of discussion, so I'm just saying. That's why I know this is a hit. According to a security alert sent to members of Parliament, individuals associated with the protest, which is calling for the end of Canada's vaccine mandate for truckers, actually, they're asking for the vaccine mandate to be ended for everyone. They have inquired online about lawmakers' personal addresses. According to the Globe and Mail, lawmakers are advised by Sergeant-at-Arms Patrick McDonnell to go somewhere safe and close and lock all exterior doors if confronted with a protest at their place of residency. The truckers' vaccine protest is expected to last the weekend. Where have we had protests before where people might have felt unsafe? Now, with that said, I don't support anybody going to anybody's personal home and doing anything, but I just find this kind of funny and hypocritical, as always. Chief Peter Slowly said during a press briefing on January 28th, 2022, the Ottawa Police and national security agencies are working together to identify potential threats to public safety. A top Parliament official warned lawmakers to lock their doors due to threats of violence from some associated with the protest group, according to the Associated Press. If anybody's going to do that, that will be like Antifa. Even during the course of this conference call, we've had new intelligence coming in regarding local threats, he said. The protest has gained attention from former President Donald Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., as well as billionaire Elon Musk, because they're based. Trump Jr. posted a video online supporting what he states as fighting against medical discrimination, according to the Guardian. Musk also tweeted, "Canada truckers rule," because they do. Along with the support from Trump Jr. and Musk, over 5.5 million Canadian dollars were raised from over 70,000 donations on the group's GoFundMe, but the site announced earlier this week that the funds were to be frozen until the determination of how they should be dispersed was resolved. Well, two updates to that paragraph. First of all, they've raised almost $10 million, and GoFundMe has been releasing funds. So, and from what I understand, GoFundMe has this particular fundraiser on their homepage. It's really not clear to me how many of those supporters donating online are actually even Canadian. Does it really matter? Said Jessica Davis, former intelligence analyst for the Canadian government and head of Insight Threat Intelligence. A lot of the donations have been made anonymously, and there's very clearly some activity from foreign countries. can tell you somebody who's not donating to that. Initials G and S. Several thousand people are expected to be in Ottawa as they protest Canada's new rule that took place on January 15th, according to the AP. The rule states truckers arriving from the U.S. must show proof of being fully vaccinated against COVID-19 or risk quarantine for 14 days, according to The Guardian. Canadian truckers are required by the U.S. to provide vaccination proof before entering. According to The Guardian, the protesters are also calling for the repeal of all public health measures having to do with COVID restrictions. Canada has reported 2.9 million cases, who cares, as well as over 32,600 deaths. Well, I'd like to see that data, because we know that we have a big pandemic of hospital protocol. Okay. The Canadian Trucking Alliance claimed more than 85% of their truckers are vaccinated, and the protest convoy does not speak for them, according to the AP. As of noon, January 28th, according to the AP, more than 100 people lined up along the sidewalk of the gates to Parliament Hill. It is reported that they are raising flags, hollering, and one group was seen setting up a barbecue. Officials from Parliament are expecting the vehicles and physical protests to be a weekend-long event. However, it could go on for longer. Well, it will go on for longer if these mandates and all these ridiculous things put in place are not gotten rid of. I have a feeling it took a lot for these guys to get to this point, and I would be absolutely shocked if they just backed down all of a sudden. So, yeah. Anyway, so after that, as I was watching today's events, which are very peaceful and actually really quite heartwarming and uplifting, I get this little news notification that Justin Trudeau and his family has moved to a secret location as Canadian trucker protests spark security fears. There's a piece of me that wants to really, I just feel like he was gone kind of a while ago. So, I don't know. I think they probably left a couple days ago when he, supposedly tested positive for what he's been vaccinated for. So, anyway, so then we come to this lovely story from the it's not from the Washington Post, it's actually from the Daily Wire, but it's about the Washington Post. Here's the Washington Post. They mock massive Canadian trucker convoy protesting vaccine mandates. Labels trucks fascism. It's just amazing to me. So, let's take a peek. On Friday, Michael Adder, the political cartoonist for the Washington Post, mocked the Freedom Convoy of truckers crossing the breadth of Canada and heading for the nation's capital, Ottawa, to protest against Canada's vaccine mandate. Adder created a cartoon for numerous trucks, all labeled in capital letters, fascism, adding the hashtags fascism and supply chain. So this is what this guy thinks, that these people, actually taking a stand for some sort of freedom are fascists. But that's pretty typical of these ultra left people. If people don't agree with you, you're a fascist or a bigot or a racist or a sexist or something like that. So roughly 5 hours later, the Post printed an opinion piece attacking the convoy. The author, David Moskrop, wrote, "The movement shares an affinity with Trumpist toxic authoritarianist politics." Authoritarian? These people are fighting for the government to get their flipping boot off of our neck, and they're authoritarian? Time and time again we learn the lesson, or at least come across it, that teaches us that rage-soaked anti-government types can't be reasoned with. Moskrop continued. This time around, the convoy has produced an incoherent memorandum of understanding premised upon a misunderstanding of government and absurd demands. Of course, the memo should be ignored. It's the product of a temper tantrum. Well, this is going to be one of the biggest temper tantrums that you're going to get. And it's starting to happen actually all over the world. These truck convoys are being planned. And so it's just amazing to me, these guys. It's like everything is inverted, right? Everything is inverted. And this whole sentence right here is nothing but a massive word salad. I'm tired of the word salad. I'm tired of the gaslighting. And I know everybody else is too. So. Mocking the convoy as a fringe group, which we clearly saw that it's not, Moskov charged they're driven by a generalized rage, misplaced anger about supply chain challenges, and anti-government sentiment. We're anti-elite sentiment, and unfortunately the elite has seeped its way into our government, or our government has morphed into the elite. I don't know which. Then he played the race card. These types of groups are typically driven by attitudes, grievances, and priorities such a nature that they pose a particular risk to radicalized folks and other groups that are traditionally the target of hate and violence. This has nothing to do with hate and violence. This has to do with peace, love, and freedom for everybody. The convoy speaks of threats to liberty. Seriously. That's what they are saying about this convoy, that it speaks of threats to liberty. My brain hurts just trying to process how you would come to that. It would be close to something if the participants weren't so far off. Threats to liberty are rampant in Canada, but not because of vaccine mandates. Rather, it is income and wealth inequality. Oh, here we go. Worker exploitation, gendered, religious, radicalized, and other forms of hate violence, ongoing settler colonialism, and other forms of structural marginalization and oppression that comprise liberty. Is this like the 19 Project or 1619 Project writing this, or what? Anyway, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, the longest truck convoy ever was recorded at 7.5 kilometers long in Egypt in 2020. Freedom convoy heading from British Columbia to Ottawa is said to be considerably longer. Well, we saw that. It's like 47 miles. The truckers hope to make it to Ottawa, Canada's capital, by Saturday to stage their protest. They are there, trust me. If the convoy holds together, it could be 10 times larger than the world record. And that is absolutely true. So I'm not going to read about this because it's not really about the heart of the topic here. But yeah, the Daily Wire did a good article about the Washington Post here. But these people are unbelievable, and they will gaslight you at any time. And this guy, he actually gets called out on Twitter. You know, I didn't read through a lot of this kind of stuff. I can't stand Facebook and Twitter, but I didn't read through a lot of it. But I did take a little peek, and yeah. So, fascism is when they stand up against the authority? Question mark. Exactly. The movement is anti-democratic and fascist. To think otherwise, you aren't noticing the majority are working as a society in fighting the pandemic. Well, I mean, right here, we come from a vastly different premise to begin with. So, I wouldn't even know how to talk with this person about this. So, clearly they haven't read any actual science. And I love this person. I don't think you know what fascism means. Yeah, exactly. So, how is advocating for individual freedoms fascism? Right. Alright, so let's just take one last little look. I just want to show you a little bit of what's going on. Let me turn that down a
Alex
bit.
Johnson, I have that.
Yeah.
Alex Johnson, I have that.
This is a live feed. I'm going to turn down the volume on it, but this is Red Pilling the Masses. She's great. Check out her YouTube channel. She's got a live feed going right now, and I think that would be really cool if you did. And so, anyway, yeah, go check it out. See what's going on. Definitely spend some time checking out these heroes, these freedom fighters, these truckers, and this is going to be coming to a country near you soon if you're not in Canada. I know they're planning on heading down to DC after this Ottawa business is settled. which I'm going to be fascinated to continue to watch. And yeah, I know some other countries are doing it. I believe it's Australia and Europe. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it so I can, report on that accurately, because I'm not really sure. But anyway, we're not playing around. We're not going to take it anymore. We are becoming the cause of what we want, and what we want is freedom. So share this around, talk to people, let people know. A lot of people feel real alone, but they're not alone. We need to pull together, and this just shows what unity can do. And I am super excited to see the final outcome. All right. Thanks for joining me, and we will see you next time.